Most people don't wake up one morning completely burnt out. It creeps in gradually to the point where you might not even notice it until you're in the throes of it. And you've lost your way, you've lost your motivation, your joy, or your health. In today's video, I'm breaking down the 12 stages of burnout, how it starts, how it unfolds, and what the symptoms look like in each stage. Awareness is key. The sooner you can detect burnout in the early stages, the easier it is to heal from it. And be sure to stay around until the end because I'll provide a free burnout assessment tool where it will help you determine whether you're burned out and if so, which stage you're in. Burnout isn't a single event, it's a progression, a slow erosion of energy, motivation, and connection. Burnout is often mistaken for stress, but there's a difference between stress and burnout. Stress is temporary, whereas burnout is chronic stress for a long duration and never addressed. I have a separate video about the differences between stress and burnout, and I'll link it in the description box below. The good news is if you recognize burnout in the early stages, you can prevent it from progressing and making matters worse, because it could get a lot worse. Let's talk about the 12 stages of burnout. I'm going to break this down into 4 categories. The first category, the early warning signs, stages 1 through 3. The first stage is compulsive ambition. This stage is a strong need to prove oneself. And while it often affects high achievers, it can affect anyone who has an excessive drive to perform well. You want to prove yourself, so you say yes to everything. You go above and beyond, and you have this urgent desire to show that you're the best. You have no boundaries at this point. Self-talk may sound like, I need to show them I'm capable. If I work hard enough, they'll see my value. And although it can affect anyone, it most often affects people who recently started in a new job, at a new company, or recently promoted into a new position. And they want to prove to the people who selected them for the role that they did not make the wrong choice. The second stage is working harder. Now that you're in overdrive, you're pushing through, you're taking on more responsibilities, you're setting higher expectations for yourself. There's no time for rest. And you're saying to yourself, I'll rest when I get through this project. I'll take time off when I get this done. I can't slow down now. The third stage is neglecting needs. At this point, self-care begins to slip. You start neglecting your own personal needs. You skip meals. You minimize sleep because you're working so late. You start canceling your workout plans. Work takes full priority, and self-talk sounds like, I don't have time for that. Now that we've gone through the early warning signs of burnout, let's talk through the mounting pressure, stages 4 through 6. The fourth stage, displacement of conflicts. This is a stage when you start to feel overwhelmed. Instead of looking internally to see what you can do differently, or considering what changes can be made, you start to feel anxious, irritable, and threatened. You may even start to blame external factors for the stress you're experiencing, including people. You downplay problems and dismiss stress altogether. And self-talk sounds like, I'm not stressed, it's just a busy time of year, there's nothing wrong. The fifth stage, shifting values. Work becomes center stage. Work becomes more important than your personal life. Hobbies, relationships, personal growth, anything that you enjoy, they take a back seat to productivity. Work becomes your identity. Self-talk sounds like, I don't have time for that. This, fill in the blank, which is a work-related task, is more important. The sixth stage is denial of problems. You become frustrated, intolerant, and aggressive towards others. Now you're at a point where you fully blame others for the stress you're experiencing, and you feel misunderstood. You also minimize how overwhelmed you feel. So you say this to yourself and to others, I'm fine. People just don't understand how much pressure I'm under. The next category, the disconnection, stages 7 through 9. The seventh stage is withdrawal. Social withdrawal, isolation becomes the norm. You avoid your friends, your family, colleagues. Emotional detachment starts to set in. Self-talk sounds like, I don't have the energy for anyone right now. I need time alone. And you may not notice it at first, but you start to distance yourself from the people you used to enjoy spending time with. Isolation only contributes and fuels burnout. I have a separate video about that, and I'll link that in the description box below. The eighth stage, behavioral changes. People around you notice that you're acting differently. You're cynical, forgetful, impatient. And you don't even realize it until people tell you. And self-talk sounds like, I don't know why I'm snapping at people or behaving this way, but I can't stop. The ninth stage is depersonalization. You feel disconnected from yourself and from others. You're functioning but not feeling. And self-talk sounds like, I don't care anymore. I just need to get through today. And the last category, the crisis point, stages 10 through 12. The 10th stage is inner emptiness. This is the stage when you feel empty and numb. Some fill it with, yes, believe it or not, more work, or food, or shopping, or other coping mechanisms. And self-talk sounds like, even when I'm not working, something's missing. I just can't put my finger on it. I feel numb. The 11th stage, depression. At this stage of burnout, you feel lost, completely exhausted, no motivation, and a sense of hopelessness. You start to question everything in life, your career, your choices, even your worth. You don't even recognize yourself in the mirror anymore, and you start to ask yourself, is this it? Is this what life has to offer? The 12th stage, burnout syndrome. This is a stage where it takes a physical, emotional, and mental toll on you, and it requires intervention. Self-talk sounds like, I can't keep going on like this anymore. I need help. This is not the only stage where you should raise your hand and say that you need help. As I mentioned earlier, the sooner you can detect these signs and the sooner you address them, the easier it is to heal from it. Where do you see yourself right now? Remember, burnout doesn't happen overnight. It happens gradually. That's what's scary about it. But the earlier you catch it, the easier it is to turn it around. If you found this helpful, you'll really like my free burnout assessment tool that helps you pinpoint which stage you're in. Click the link below in the description box and it'll have you join my email list, and you'll instantly get that free resource delivered to your inbox. Those are the 12 stages of burnout. Spot the warning signs early. Share this video with anyone who you think might be on the path to burnout without realizing it. I've also linked these 2 videos that will provide additional insights on stress versus burnout and the hidden symptoms of burnout. I'll see you there.